Welcome to Franklin County Courthouse, where Terry McFadden has been charged with 2 counts of rape. McFadden and his wife were both running the in-home daycare where the parents of the children left them during the day for daycare purposes. McFadden admitted in January that he did something very wrong. Just for the sake of his sexual gratification, he destroyed the lives of young children. He pleaded guilty to 2 charges of raping 2 sisters who were 4 and 6 years old when the girls told their parents about the sexual assault that happened in April 2019. According to the reports, McFadden repeatedly touched the girls' genitals and assaulted them. Furthermore, the parents filed a lawsuit against McFadden, claiming that the sexual assault actions started when McFadden became more involved in running the daycare around the middle of 2017. The parents talked a lot about how their daughters were hurt before the judge decided what should happen to Terry McFadden. Finally, after considering all the pieces of evidence and statements, McFadden was sentenced to 22 years in prison.
I'm sending you to prison for 11 years. On count 4, I'm sending you to prison for 11 years. They will be consecutive to each other for a total of 22 years.
Our second stop is at the Eaton County Courthouse, where Larry Nassar has been charged with 22 counts of first-degree criminal sexual conduct with minors and child pornography. He was an American doctor who worked with athletes. He sexually assaulted and took advantage of many young girls, especially those on the gymnastics team. In 2016, Nassar was accused of assaulting at least 265 young women and girls. He pretended to give them medical treatment, but he was doing bad things to them. Some of these girls were on the Olympic and national gymnastics teams. In February 2017, 3 former gymnasts talked on TV about how Nassar had sexually abused them.
Because that would make it easier for him to work on me. And within minutes, he had his fingers in my vagina. The FBI then immediately asked, "Did he insert his fingers into your rectum?" I said no, he never did. They asked if he used gloves. I said no, he never did. They asked if this treatment ever helped me. I said no, it never did. This treatment was 100% abuse and never gave me any relief.
They also claimed that the training camps where they practiced gymnastics were not a good place. They called it an emotionally abusive environment. It made it easy for Nassar to do bad things to the gymnasts, and the girls were scared to speak up about it. Rachel Den Hollander, one of the victims and one of the first women to talk openly about Nassar, said in court in May 2017 that Nassar had sexually abused her during 5 visits to the doctor in 2000 when she was only 15 years old.
Larry meticulously groomed me for the purpose of exploiting me for his sexual gain. He penetrated me, he groped me, he fondled me, and then he whispered questions about how it felt. He engaged in degrading and humiliating sex acts without my consent or permission, and Larry enjoyed it.
In October 2017, Olympic gold medalist Michaela Maroney shared on Twitter using the #MeToo hashtag that Nassar had abused her many times from 2008 when she was 13 years old until she stopped doing gymnastics in 2016. Michaela Maroney then took legal action against Nassar, Michigan State University, the United States Olympic Committee, and USA Gymnastics. In her lawsuit, she said that USA Gymnastics tried to hide the abuse by making her sign an agreement not to talk about it when they paid her $1.25 million. Maroney's lawyer, John Manley, called Nassar a pedophile doctor. Nassar was given a 60-year prison sentence on December 7, 2017. It was because he admitted to having inappropriate pictures of children and trying to hide evidence. Then, on January 24, 2018, he got an additional 40 to 175 years in prison in Michigan for admitting to 7 counts of hurting others. On February 5, 2018, Judge Janice Cunningham in Eaton County decided that Nassar would be in prison for at least 40 years to 125 years. Nassar apologized for all the bad things he did, and he mentioned that the pain he felt from what his victims said was much less compared to the pain he caused them.
But Larry, you did this to yourself. and you did this to us.
However, the judge thought Nasser had not fully understood how much harm he caused. Nasser's time in state prison started after he finished the time he got for federal child pornography charges. The judge also said that any state sentence Nasser got should be added to the federal sentence, keep him in prison for a very long time. We're at the Bexar County Courthouse, where Christopher Branham stands after sexually assaulting a 7-year-old child. The child and his family were at the theater for a movie. He informed his mother about the assault after he returned from the restroom. Branham's attorney, Robert Gebbia, mentioned that his client struggled with controlling his impulses. He requested the judge to consider probation as the sentence for Branham. On the other hand, Branham pleaded no contest to charges of sexual assault, which suggested a minimum prison term of 35 years. Furthermore, Branham had to register himself as a sex offender for the rest of his life. Up next is the Columbia County Courthouse, where a Columbia County jury convicted John Acklin of 1 count of course of sexual conduct against a child, 10 counts of criminal sexual act, 1 count of aggravated sexual abuse in the 1st degree, and 4 counts of aggravated sexual abuse in the 2nd degree. This 56-year-old guy used to live in Livingston, but then shifted to Bandera, Texas. He received the highest possible sentence from Judge Jonathan D. Nichols in Columbia County Court. What disturbed the court the most was the way Acklin assaulted 2 children in Livingston from December 2004 to March 2006. As per the reports, the children were below the age of 11 when the assaults happened. The abuse stopped after Acklin moved to Texas, according to state police. This guy didn't deserve any chance of leniency, and the judge did justice. He sentenced Acklin to 335 years in state prison. Now, let's move towards Strafford County Courthouse, where 29-year-old Christopher Elwell has been charged with aggravated felonious sexual assault. He received a prison sentence of 7.5 to 15 years for sexually assaulting a 4-year-old girl. The incident occurred on June 24th and 25th in Dover when the victim visited a residence where Elwell was staying. This discussion brought one of the most disturbing moments in the courtroom. And that's not just it. What happened next in the courtroom surprised everyone. A man named Josiah Davies reportedly hit Elwell in a courtroom. Elwell had just admitted to doing something very wrong to a 4-year-old in Dover and was given a prison sentence. After Elwell sat down, Davies, standing nearby, suddenly stood up and bumped his head into Elwell's face 2 times. Both Elwell and Davies had their hands and feet tied. Later on, Josiah Davies was accused of forgery and attacking Elwell. Our last stop is at the Broward County Courthouse, where Francisco Javier de Aragon was declared guilty on May 18th for all of the charges against him, including 1 count of sexual battery on a child, 3 counts of lewd and lascivious molestation, and 1 count of battery. These incidents happened during a swimming class at the Deerfield Beach Aquatic Center 2015. All 3 kids who were affected spoke up in court. One of them clearly told everyone that the lifeguard touched their private part.
So he put his hand on my private part.
And that's not it. There was no remorse and acceptance from de Aragon. He kept saying he didn't do anything wrong. He insisted that any contact might have been unintentional while teaching the kids to float, and they might have misunderstood. However, the jury didn't believe him, and the judge didn't offer leniency.
The defendant has not accepted responsibility for what he did, and he has shown no remorse in this case.
In the end, Francisco Javier de Aragon was sentenced to 4 life sentences. Moreover, when he was being sentenced, he cried and said, "I love you," to his wife. His wife stood by him constantly and was there with him. That's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know you'd love to watch more crazy moments in the courtroom, so subscribe to my channel to keep on getting new updates. Bye.